Hello and happy almost the end of the year. Hi, how are you? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you've never been here before. So today we're going to be doing something that I've been doing on my channel for quite some time, but I decided to switch it up this time around. So usually at the end of the year, we like to on this channel do a tier ranking or some sort of ranking of all of the movies I reacted to for commentary videos on this channel. And I like to include all of them from the very worst, from my least favorite, all the way to my favorites. So this year we're going to be doing something a little bit different, and I'm just going to be giving you my top 10. So this is still including all of the movies that I reacted to, so it's not going to include theatrical releases that I did reviews on. This will just be out of the movies I reacted to this year. So we had a really good reacting YouTube year for us, so let's hope for an even better one next year. So we're going to start at number 10. So number 1 will be my all-time best movie that I reacted to this year. This will be my favorite movie of the year. And then 10, still good, but we're just gonna be working our way up. So my likability for each movie will increase the higher we get into the list. So coming in at number 10, we have Happy Death Day from 2017. I really enjoyed this one. I think that it was just a lot of fun, and I like that we weren't supposed to like our main character. I'm someone that really tends to crave likability from my characters, whether I'm reading a book, watching a movie, anything like that. So this is one of the first movies that I watched this year where I actually didn't really like the main character, but it made the movie more enjoyable because you actually saw growth within her character, Tree, and you got to see her actually become more and more likable. So that was something I really enjoyed, and I thought it was unique. I know that there's a second one. A couple of you guys have been asking me to react to that one, so next year, we'll see. Hopefully I will get around to that one. And I also love that this main character, Tree, her birthday is in September, just like mine. Fellow Virgo, September, whatever her birthday is, icon. Coming in at number 9, we have a very recent one, actually my most recent one, with Die Hard, 1988. Now, all of these movies in my top 10 ranking did get 10 out of 10s for me. There are a couple that did get 10 out of 10s but did not make this list, but those ones were rewatches like Indiana Jones, Final Destination, and Saw 2. Those ones also got 10 out of 10s, but they were all rewatches for me, so I didn't feel right including them in this list. Now, this one was something that kind of solidified my love for action movies, and it kind of started a little bit with John Wick, actually, but something about Die Hard really made me fall in love more with action movies and want to keep up with them. I just think that the premise and the actors and everything about it was so good. The cast was amazing. I love the songs and how funny it was. John Wick was like mostly serious, but this one they had good comedic timing and iconic sayings, so I just had to include this one in my top 10 ranking. And Bruce Willis and Christmas time. Didn't ever think that this would be a Christmas movie, but nevertheless it is. It's so random, but I love it. Coming in at number 8, we have Ready or Not from 2017. This one was something that I kind of suspected I was going to like, but in actually my reaction and watching the movie, I liked it way more than I thought I was going to. I kind of suspected I was going to give this one maybe like an 8 out of 10, but it was a lot more nuanced, I guess, or it was a lot more deep, I guess, than I was expecting it to be. I like that it was basically all surrounding family lore, and I like movies that kind of play on believing something or not believing something, because this family was playing board games or playing games with whoever got married into the family for years, and they didn't even know if this curse was real or not, and I just love the ending of it and the realization and the truth. I'm not going to give spoilers. Go ahead and watch my reaction if you want to, but I recommend watching my reaction because it is a really fun movie to react to, because so much happens that you weren't expecting and a lot of twists and turns, and you gotta appreciate that. All right, coming in at number 7, we have X from 2022. Now this one, it took me a while to finally sit down and watch this one, even though X, Pearl, and then the upcoming movie Maxine were all something that I was very interested in. For some reason, I just took the longest time to finally sit down and watch X, but I'm so glad I did. It did not seem like something I was going to like, to be completely honest. But I do love, again, how deep this movie actually turned out to be. If you're noticing a theme in my top 10, it's movies that actually have underlining messages, I guess I should say, in there. This one, I really like that it was actually kind of more of a message of age and getting older and beauty. So I thought that that was something super interesting. It's not really something that's talked about, I feel like, especially when you're older. And I love the cast for this one as well. Jenna Ortega, Mia Goth, Brittany Snow, all just iconic people. And it was funny. Like, let's be honest, this movie was hilarious to me, and I just loved how deep it actually got, and they had a lot of random parts in there too that I love just for the content. So watch my reaction for that, because I feel like I did a really funny edit in one of the scenes that was just so random, and I really appreciate it for like the messaging that they're trying to tie into it, and it just made me more excited for Maxine, which will hopefully be coming out in 2024. If anybody has any updates on that, please let me know and comment down below. I liked leading into Pearl, and I loved Mia Goth, of course. She is an amazing actress. Pearl was just a little boring, a little slow for me, and X was a little more jam-packed, so, and it had like more depth, which I liked. Next on our list, coming in at number 6, we have Encanto from 2021. Now, this one was also something I wasn't really wanting to do a movie reaction for. I was just kind of watch it on my own time. I don't know what compelled me to watch a movie reaction. I think it was because of one of the other movies that are on this list. We'll get into that once we head further down. But because of one of those movies, I was like, you know what? This is also a movie that came out around the same time that I feel like there's so much buzz around it. I just need to know what this movie is about. And if you guys don't know, I am a Disney girly, and for some reason I put off the new Disney movies. It's just such a hard time. I feel like since the virus, I guess I will just say, it's been hard for me to want to get back in the theater and watch the newer Disney movies. So, and plus it's hard because it's like you're just around kids the whole time. So I usually like to wait for things to come onto streaming anyways. But this one, once again, theme of the video, underlining messages. This one was more focused on family and family dynamics, which is something that is very personal to me. It's something I talk about a lot with my therapist, and it was just one of those things where you're watching the right movie at the right time. It was at this certain point in my life where I was feeling very vulnerable about the messaging in the movie. So when I saw it and saw everything come to fruition, it just really hit me in the feels. It was just a 10 out of 10. The songs were just so good. I couldn't get them out of my head, and I just love the writing, especially the lyrics for the songs were so accurate, I feel like, and I feel like I could relate so much to this family. Like, my family was that family in Encanto. I mean, I could pick out and put together who from my family was most like each character. Like, I just know exactly. So you can just see how much I related to this and why it was so emotional for me. Okay, coming in at number 5, we have Blade from 1998. Now, this is one I actually did a collab with Timothy Reacts. So if you've not seen our video, go ahead and check it out. We also did a video on his channel as well. But this one was something that was on actually my 100 horror movies bucket list movie poster scratch off, and I didn't really know what it was. I also did not know that this was a Marvel character. I think this movie was made before it was really solidified, or I don't know the correct terming for it, solidified as like Marvel, and it was a Marvel movie because the first Marvel movie was Iron Man. So Blade was before that time. However, this movie was just so much fun. I don't know what it is. I just love how serious Blade was in comparison to all the kooky people around him, all the vampires. It's just really cool to see like vampire superhero. I don't know what it is, but I think I just like the crossover because I always think about superhero over here, vampire over here. They're just like two things that don't mix, but I just loved how they came together in this movie. And I'm also just excited to see the remake because they're actually remaking this. I don't know any update about this. this. If you guys do, please let me know. I do know who is going to be the new Blade. I can't pronounce his name though, so I'll just put a picture of him up on the screen right here. So this person, but I know exactly who he is and where he's from. So I'm excited to see in the future where this is going to be leading towards. And I think this is a really interesting story. This is something that's very new to me, is because Marvel and superhero stuff isn't the most interesting. So seeing something like this, I was really surprised to actually be invested as I was. And it was also just a 90s vibe, which I love. And the animation or the editing of it was just pure 90s, which is one of my favorite time periods. All right, coming in at number 4, we have Triangle from 2009. Now, looking back, I was a little surprised I gave this one a 10 out of 10, but then upon speculation, upon my thinking, I realized, oh yeah, this movie is a 10 out of 10. This movie is the most wildest ride. That is something else that I just love, is wild ass rides, because you truly don't know what is going to happen, what is going on until like halfway through the movie. And then I just think it takes so much creativity to make everything to come together like that. Yes, there are a couple maybe like little spots that I still have questions about, but any movie that can get me thinking about it that much since watching it, I have to appreciate it. I just really do. I just loved how flawed our main character was as well. Like, you could see she cares so much about her son, but seeing how much that develops, how it honestly became something that hurt her in the end. I just love the continuation of it, the loophole. I honestly want to rewatch that because it was just such a fun time, and I'm just so glad I got to experience that as a reaction with you people, because that was truly something that needed to be filmed and captured. Okay, we're in our top 3. So coming in at number 3, we have Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which came out in 2022. This one, again, this is the movie that inspired me to watch Encanto. So I watched Puss in Boots first, and then that made me want to watch Encanto. I don't know, I was kind of surprised because this was something that was voted on in my Patreon. So if you want to help vote for iconic movies that you think I would like and might just end up on a top 10 list, join the Patreon. Link for that is in the description. But this is something I was kind of surprised that won in my Patreon voting poll, because I didn't think people would even vote for this one, but this one by a landslide, truly. So I was like, all right, everybody likes Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Let's go ahead and watch it. And oh my gosh, the way I cried, and I feel bad because YouTube didn't get to experience it as much as I actually wanted it to. So if you join for $1, you can see my actual full-length reaction. It is like 40 minutes long, but YouTube kept being like a bee about copyright, so I couldn't really put that much into the YouTube version. I had to cut out so much of it, but I highly encourage you to watch it because, first of all, the whistling of the death and the metaphor and the analogy of that wolf being death, and he follows you everywhere, and Puss in Boots is on his last life, and he's just literally lingering around waiting. Death is waiting for Puss in Boots, you know, to like fuck up. And it was just so good. I mean, I remember crying so much when I watched that. Of course, the dog, the peachy puppy, it just makes me so emotional thinking about it, honestly. And I really hope, I don't think that they would, but I would love if they did another one. I think it's also because that animation style, kind of like stop motion almost. It's just a recipe for a 10 out of 10 in my books. So I would love if they did a third one, but it kind of ended off in a way that was perfectly concluded. So I'm okay with there not being a third one, but it was just so beautiful. Such a beautiful movie. And once again, underlining messages about death and living your life to the fullest. It was one of those things where I just watched it at the right time, in the right place in my life, and it just hit me harder than I thought it was going to. Okay, so we're almost at the end. Coming in at number 2, we have Thelma and Louise from 1991. This one was so good. I loved, first and foremost, girl powerness of this movie. I love the girlies. I feel like I don't watch enough movies about solely be purely girls. And I just need more of that in my life, truth be told. We will be doing more of that come 2024. But this movie was just so good. I just love movies where something happens and you just see the chain of events that happen, almost like the butterfly effect of it, right? It's almost like the Until Dawn game, where just like one little decision that they made is affecting the whole rest of our lives. And of course, the ending just had me shocked, gooped, and gagged for eons. Like, I'm still shocked by that ending. And it's been months since I've watched that movie. But I just love, first of all, that the whole basis of it is, oh, respect women. You didn't respect women? Bye. See ya. I just love how different these characters are. Talk about character development. They started off one way and they ended that movie completely different. But one thing that didn't change is their friendship. I feel like I sound like an IMDb or a Wikipedia description or something. Like I'm a trailer. I'm trying to like hype up the movie and talk about how good it is. But it is, you know, it's so much fun. And again, it was one of those things where it was a little bit of a longer movie, and I'm trying to get myself to watch longer movies because I've actually ended up really liking them. Rocky, honorable mention, Blade, Thelma and Louise. There's so much longer movies, and by longer, I mean longer than 90 minutes because I'm so used to watching 90-minute movies, but longer than 90 minutes, and I feel like I'm becoming more accustomed to it because I like going on a journey with some person because then I get so attached to them. So then when the movie ends, especially if there's not a sequel, I'm just like, well, what do I do with my life? So this movie, 10 out of 10, was so good. I will never forget it. I just want to live my life according to them every day. Okay, and coming in at number one, I actually conjoined two movies because I watched the first and the second movie this year, and that is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So I reacted to both of those movies this year, and let me just say, a movie that is nearly, I was just talking about how I'm trying to get myself to like longer movies. The second movie was nearing 3 hours long, and I still wanted more. It still felt like we were on a cliffhanger. It still felt like there was so much to be discovered. Like, how do you do that? But it wasn't like nothing was going on for the whole almost 3 hours. Oh, shit was going down the whole freaking time, baby. But I never thought that movie that long, or like I said, a Marvel superhero movie would get me that interested. This movie got me so interested. Byron is like the best Marvel character to me right now because holy crap, Miles Morales specifically. Talk about a movie that has literally everything. It's funny, it's emotional, it's lighthearted, it's dark, it has deeper messages, it has action, it has love, it has everything. And who knows how long we're gonna have to wait for the third one. So, oh my gosh, like talk about going on a journey with someone. I watched the first one, I was like, man, we really went on a freaking journey. And then I waited until it went on to streaming for me to watch the second one. We went on another long ass journey for that one, and now I'm ready for me to go back on that. But the gap between those two, the time gap, the first one came out in 2018. Holy crap, 2018, and then this one came out in 2022. So like, how long are we gonna have to wait until we finally feel fulfilled again? I have no idea. This is why I feel like I had to conjoin them together because they're in the same universe, they're together. They're 1 and 2. They're partnered, so I couldn't just pick one over the other. Those movies are my number one. I mean, so much fun, and it didn't feel like a little kid movie. You know, sometimes that is something that I'm like, it's gonna feel really kid-ish, and I feel like it did a really good job of not feeling that. There was stuff that me, as an adult, I feel like I could relate to. Same thing with Puss in Boots. That would be deemed seemingly a kid movie or just for kids, but watching it, there was so much stuff to relate to, especially if you're older, fearing death. Sure, that's something older people can relate to, but little kids don't know that that's supposed to be death. They just see, oh, this bad guy's trying to get him. Puss in Boots has to stay away from him. Same thing with Encanto. I mean, Disney never fails with giving us iconic movies with relatable things for adults and children, but that's just the theme of my top 10. It's this relatability, going on a journey, and underlining messages. So that is my top 10 list for the best movies I reacted to in 2023. Who knows where 2024 is going to take us? I hope that we're on as crazy and wild of a journey as we were in 2023. I hope that we get a lot of good new movies. I want to definitely, I feel like I say this every year, but I want to get back in the theaters. I want to watch more movies. I just hate going to the movie theaters. Like, I truly, truly hate going to the movie theaters. I just hate leaving my house. So I always want everything to wait to come on streaming, and then by that point, the hype is over for them. But I want to try to force myself to go out and go to the movie theaters. So if there are any upcoming movies you guys are excited for, please let me know. Or if you have your favorite like top 10, top 5, or even just your #1 favorite movie that you saw this year. It doesn't have to be one that came out this year, just one that you watched this year. What was your favorite movie? Again, you can give me 5 or 10. Just let me know. Those are my top 10. I want to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons, and especially Gabe Up, AJ, Mark Sylvester, James Cox, and Dontrell Durant. Thank you so much, and make sure to go ahead and check out my Patreon if you haven't already. Okay, if you want to get access to videos early when I post them here on YouTube, or eligibility to vote on polls, access to the Discord, anything like that, link for my Patreon will be in the description below. Thank you guys for coming along with me on this journey. Thank you guys for joining me and letting me be a part of your 2023. I really hope you guys come back here for 2024. Give me more movies I should react to, just anything crazy. I'm going balls to the wall next year. Just give me anything random and we'll see. Just give me anything random. All right, I want to be as kooky as I possibly can next year and always. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all of that jazz, and as always, thanks for watching.